What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your boy, Adam Perez. We're back, baby, once again with a brand new episode review as we're set to get into episode number 6. That's right, the season finale for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, as this is, in fact, going to be our final episode of the reuniting of Rick and Michonne. Who knows what the future holds, man? I don't know if they're going to give us a season 2 or not. The way that this particular season ended, this limited series so far, wrapped up with a neat bow, honestly. I'm actually quite surprised that we ended up getting ourselves a happy ending. I mean, this is The Walking Dead after all. I honestly was not expecting like who was going to make it back. Was Michonne going to die? Was Rick going to die? Like through all the trials and tribulations that these two characters have been through, the idea of even walking back into the CRM, I just thought to myself, like, this is not going to be good whatsoever. And so they certainly surprised me. And I'm really glad that they fought for a happy ending here at the end of the day because I'm a sucker for a good reuniting, and based off of just how long it's been since Rick has gotten an opportunity to see his kids, getting an opportunity to see his son that he never got an opportunity to meet, sort of thing. As a father myself, man, I gotta tell you, I choked up. I got teary-eyed once again in this season. I mean, this season has definitely brought highs and lows for me, just an emotional roller coaster, and I had a blast with it. I truly had a blast with it. I have been reading reports in the sense that when it comes to a season 2, that it's not necessarily out of the question. It seems as though they're certainly open to it, but I don't know if it's something that they are like ready to dive into. Like if you were to ask me, is there a writer's room already writing up a season 2? I'd probably tell you no. But I have heard reports or maybe possible interviews, just headlines that I've kind of glimpsed over that have said the idea of, there may be a possibility. But I'm certainly not going to hold my breath. This is certainly going to be the last of it. I think they ended it on a fantastic note. But me being the selfish fan that I certainly am, I'm always going to be open for more Denai Guerrera and Andrew Lincoln, honestly. I love their chemistry on screen. I just love their characters in general. I've always been a huge Rick fan. And to see what Jadis kind of warned Rick about in here about the idea of like, look, you and Michonne together are just an unstoppable force, right? Like you guys can achieve anything. And if there's anybody that needs to be fearful of anybody, it's the two of you together. And I think this was a perfect example of that. And so, bring them on, man. I would love the opportunity to kind of see more there. Especially with the CRM, maybe there is somebody that managed to survive, maybe building another force elsewhere. I mean, for the most part, they definitely felt like they have changed the um direction that the CRM is certainly going to be going in with the Civic Republic and the council and things like that, learning of their plans, making really utilizing the CRM for different things, certainly going forward. Who's to say that it's going to be that easy to kind of revert them back to what they were and start causing more problems? But you never know what else kind of can certainly be out there when you've got millions of walkers certainly still walking around. But I thought they did their damn thing in this limited series. I thought they came together with an amazing story, really gave each episode a fantastic opportunity to certainly breathe, coming in about like 50 minutes per episode. So we got a lot of depth. We got a lot of character growth, great character moments in here too. And just a little bit of an emotional roller coaster that you can certainly ask for when it comes to The Walking Dead. So give me more. Give me more. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, maybe they'll make an announcement that they're going to get a season 2 here within the works. But we'll definitely keep you guys posted here at A Plus Hero Report. But let's talk about this episode real quick, man. Let's do a little bit of a deep dive as we wrap things up here. Um, I got to tell you, the Echelon briefing was certainly something to behold, to learn exactly what the plans are in here. And shout out to one of my favorite actors, Terry O'Quinn, who played Beale in here. I've seen this guy on television and movies throughout the years, but I know him personally as John Locke from Lost. Lost was one of my favorite shows back in the early 2000s. I was a huge fan of it, and he always left a lasting impression on me. Don't tell me what I can't do. I mean, it's just an iconic moment in TV, if you ask me. But I love Terry O'Quinn, and I think he was the perfect person here to play Beale and deliver this speech and these secrets to Andrew Lincoln. Just seeing this scene Rick take all this in and slowly realize just the big threat that Beale and the CRM certainly was. This is an intense moment. I mean, the idea of, and I love the way Andrew Lincoln put it in The Insider, not the idea that he wanted to deal with natural selection, but artificial selection, right? The fact that the CRM was going to be the one to choose the people that wind up surviving. You know, seeing Michonne come to the briefing and realize that 10% of the kids from Portland were going to be the ones that survived, and everybody else was certainly going to die. You know, the CRM hoping that that 10% of kids will eventually turn into something that would really help the CRM certainly down the road in the survival of humanity, sort of thing. So the idea of even Beale explaining, like, you know, we have people all around the world that are spies, secret agents living in other cities, towns, countries, you know, giving us intel about what other people are doing, having influence in politics and how the world is certainly run and stuff, right? Like, when I think of when he said that, I immediately went to like the Daryl Dixon series, and I'm like, homeboys in like France or Italy or something like that overseas. You know, maybe there's a CRM over there too. I didn't see season one of Daryl Dixon's spin-off series, so I don't know if maybe they've introduced a CRM somewhere across seas. But who's to say that they don't have somebody overseas, you know, working behind the scenes there, kind of dictating how things certainly go. So again, when you're talking about the idea of a potential season two, you know, I think Beale kind of opens up the potential for storytelling there, in the sense that the CRM maybe dead in this particular city, but it may be thriving certainly someplace out in the world. And for me, that's pretty promising. You know, if anything, I am interested in the idea of finding out. Sorry about the notification. I have to go ahead and turn off. So yeah, I'm really fascinated to see where they go if they wind up doing a second season. But the idea of them, the destruction of, and now planning the destruction of Portland, revealing the idea that they are millions of walkers out there in mass, and that the belief that humanity only has about 14, maybe about a decade to 14 years certainly left to live. That's eye-opening in and of itself. So the idea that now the CRM has kind of changed course, knowing that that's what the potential future may hold, you know, I am more interested now to see what Rick and Michonne have turned the CRM into, in a sense that now that they are, you know, open to going out to other communities and helping them out, you know, letting people leave the city, bringing people in, sort of thing. You know, I do wonder if that mentality will maybe give humanity hope, or maybe if what Beale was trying to do in the sense of, you know, tighten the resources, because I would assume his idea was there's very limited resources to go around based off of the ratio of people that are still certainly living, right? And if they want to survive, they would need to really kill everybody else off, take all the supplies for themselves, and try and certainly survive that way. But you know, what happens when you allow other people to leave and you provide them with the resources that they need to potentially survive and fend off these walkers and have a more stable life to live, right? I mean, maybe you could inject some life into this particular world, and instead of shrinking it down, maybe in turn, the more people out there, the more people working together, will push back on the direction in which, you know, all these walkers are really dwindling down the lifespan of humanity here. So, you know, I do think there's a lot of really cool directions that The Walking Dead can definitely go in, whether that surrounds Rick and Michonne or somebody else. But the Echelon briefing in here was certainly, I don't want to say it's not what I expected. I expected it to be something bananas and crazy, but I think it's even more eye-opening to see that somebody like Thorne, you know, gave into it, you know, believed that plan of exterminating other people in order just for your own selfish reasons to certainly survive, you know. You know, maybe Okafor picked the wrong person at the end of the day when it comes to Thorne, and just picked the right person when it comes to Rick. If there are any like unbelievable moments in this episode, to me, there's two moments in here where I'm just like, nah, they should be dead. when the first explosion that goes off, when they have the entirety of the CRM people there, they barely had enough time to certainly run away from that encampment of explosions for sure. I don't care what type of tarp and water you throw over yourself. I don't think with a massive explosion like that and a huge concussion blast, man, it's hard for me to believe that they would have even survived that. And then the second one would be Rick, taking the grenade and using the meat shield. The walkers has a meat shield sort of thing. I gotta think that even in that small confined space, the concussion alone, the blast alone would have certainly have done a little bit more damage. So there were definitely two aspects in here that I definitely had to certainly suspend my disbelief, because I definitely don't think they were going to be walking away from either of those moments, to be quite frank with you, and they probably shouldn't have. But again, it just goes to show you the fortitude, and I really enjoy just the teamwork here, both of just Rick and Michonne. In the Insider, they talked a little bit about the idea that, like, when you look to your left, when you look to their right, like they're right next to each other, and they're just on the same wavelength. And again, for me, this is exactly what Jada certainly talked about, and to be able to kind of see that in its full form by the end of this episode, I thought was just truly brilliant. I mean, they brought down 3,000 soldiers with an incredible plan. And got the opportunity to live and certainly save the day. So I thought it was great to see, honestly. So great action in here, great intensity, some huge reveals and secrets, some great dialogue and monologue by some incredible actors here in Terry O'Quinn and Andrew Lincoln. And then just an amazing sort of family reunion. I don't even remember how old Judith was when Rick wind up leaving, but she clearly, knew her father. So that was really great to see. And I love the idea that Rick got to meet Rick Jr. And just the idea of establishing sort of a new bond and a new family. I mean, when he says, "Are you the brave man?" I'm just like, I kind of got choked up. And I think it's even cooler, Rick saying, "Yeah, like I am." I think Rick has come such a long way in this season. Just seeing how he started off wanting to get back home, started losing belief and trust in the opportunity to do so, sort of accepting the idea of being stuck there and being a part of this community, if you will, this army, and to the point of being sort of, I don't want to say beaten down, but like mind warped, or like, I'm not even hypnotized, but just the idea of everything that he's been through sort of keeping them there, and really having a difficult time of even being able to want to leave, as much as he loved Michonne, and having that come to Jesus moment, which had me breaking down and crying. And again, it's been a while since a television show or a movie made me cry, and so just to be able to see the growth and the journey that Rick was on, and getting the opportunity to finally come back home and see his family again, I thought was just a really beautiful sight. And so I love the fact that this episode truly ends with the family reunion and the idea of hope, not just for Rick and Michonne, but also the rest of the world, in regards to seeing like the helicopters going over with supplies and stuff, right? Like it's a bit of a brighter day in the Walking Dead world. One that I was not expecting, but I thought was quite fitting at the end of this particular limited series. But look, guys, at the end of the day, that's just my A+ opinions. I always want to know yours. What did you guys think about this episode? Was it too rushed? Were you not a fan of the happy ending? Were you looking for something else in particular? Or did this truly satisfy everything that you were hoping for when it comes to the return of Rick and Michonne? I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section box below. But until next time, guys, do me a big favor, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.